Oh, yay. Hi, everybody. So, how's everybody doing this week? I hope you're doing great. I know I am. I'm getting so excited for Christmas. Um, so welcome back to another week of training. And I know last week I kind of left you on a kind of thing with the the low heart rate variability and what that meant. So this week I'm gonna, a little bit of a pick me up. And oops, so sorry, forgot to put this guy on mute. Let me do that. Um, so, as a little recap, last week we talked about the difference between your heart rate and heart rate variability and what the two of those mean. And then again, we talked about the low heart rate variability, and that the low heart rate variability means that one side of your autonomic nervous system is dominating, sending information to your heart. And that is something that you do not want to have. You want it to be more balanced. Your heart wants it to be more balanced. So, this week we're going to talk about high heart rate variability and what that means. And this actually means that your heart is getting signals from both sides of your autonomic nervous system, from both the sympathetic and the parasympathetic side. And I used last week a car example where, let's talk about the low heart rate variability really quick, where you've got the situation is the sympathetic side is completely on, and that's what's being sent. Sorry, didn't mean to go right in front of the camera. Being sent to the heart, and this means that you're pedal to the metal, you're going, and doesn't even matter for curves coming up, you're not letting up on that gas pedal, and you're most likely going to get into an accident. Accident with the heart kind of means disease. So that's where or when it comes to heart rate variability. That you're looking at illnesses if you're sitting in that mode. And then now let's say that the parasympathetic side is dominating and is completely sending the information to the heart. Well, that means you're not going anywhere. Your brake is on, and that's kind of where depression sets in. So what high heart rate variability looks like, it's both sides are sending signal. Okay, so they're both sending signal, and it's a nice smooth movement that's happening, and it's telling your heart that you're ready for anything. You're resilient, your energy battery is high, and you're ready to go. So let's say your boss comes up and your boss is upset about something. If this happens, then your sympathetic side is gonna get triggered. That's gonna happen, but when it's getting triggered, it's just a slight trigger. It's a trigger, but it's not pedal to the metal. You're able to handle it. You're able to think clearly. You're able to continue building up your energy, continue making sure that your battery's full, because you know how to do that in the moment, and everything is going great. And then the situation is over with, and then what's going to happen is your parasympathetic side is going to take over for about 10-15 minutes. It needs to bring you back to your resting point. And when it does that after about 10-15 minutes, it's going to bring you back to your resting point. And now here you are again, all balanced, telling your heart that you're ready to rock and roll. Okay, so everything's going good. So that's high heart rate variability and what it kind of looks like. I posted this week about how would you like to feel 12 years younger? And it's like, well, how could that possibly happen? So your heart rate variability is an indication of biological aging. As you age, your heart rate variability does decrease. That's natural. All right. So we do know that based on a certain age, we are expecting you to be at a certain place. Right? I've talked about this before, where your doctor is going to say, you're at the low range, you're at the high range, but you're still within the range, you're all good. So think about it when heart rate variability is coming into play, and we see your pattern and we understand what's going on. We know that you could be right smack dab. Let's say you're 50 years old, and so then this is your range, and you're 50 years old. That's your physical age. Biologically, your age based on heart rate variability could come in at 50. And that's pretty darn good if that's where you're coming in at, right? But let's say that it comes in at about 56, 57. Well, that means that your heart rate variability is lower than what it really needs to be. And now you're feeling a little bit old. You should be feeling a little bit older than you really are. But think about it on the other side. If you're 50 years old and you have a high heart rate variability, and it's you're in past your age group, then you're going to be feeling a lot younger than what your physical age is actually saying. So that's kind of a cool thing that I know it definitely makes me excited to think that as I get older, I can actually feel a lot younger based on my heart rate variability, and it enables me to really work on that hard. So I talked about the pattern that we looked at, and the pattern has to do with coherence. And if you're in coherence, if you're coherent, that means that your heart, your brain, and your lung are in sync. Everything is playing nice together. They're not fighting, if you would. So, and that's where we want you to be. And heart rate variability is, that balance where everything's going good. The ANS is sending the great information to the heart, saying that you're ready, and your breath is a huge indication that that you're ready as well. So the coherence is that the pattern that we're looking at is the heart rhythm pattern, and the heart rhythm pattern is the waveform that's produced based on varying heart rate over time. So the incoherence one is where you've got the low heart rate variability, and you also have a very jagged the pattern is very jagged looking. And I know I posted on that, and I said, which heart rate would you rather have? And the one you'd want is for high heart rate variability. It's very harmonious wave is what it looks like. And this is telling your body, again, that you can handle the stressors that are coming along. So the other thing that we talked about last week was homeostasis. And in talking about homeostasis, we talked about how in order to when homeostasis is successful, life continues. That was something that we talked about last week. And sometimes your body needs help. So for instance, if I had walked outside this morning when it was minus 18 degrees without any coat on, within 5 minutes, any exposed skin would have had frostbite. So I need to protect myself and either not go out, which is kind of what I did. But if I had to go out, I would have, of course, bundled every piece of skin up so that, it wasn't exposed. And same thing with heart rate variability. We need to give our body some help, especially as we're getting older and it's natural for our heart rate variability to lower. We need to make sure that we're keeping that heart rate variability higher. So, there's a lot of ways to improve your heart rate variability. And most successful ways that I've found is number one, your physical body. You need to be taking care of it nutritionally and exercise-wise. The microbiome is huge when it comes to heart health, and we're going to actually be talking about that next week. So pay attention to that one, because that's going to be a really important one as well to learn about that. The other thing is daily practice to reducing your stress. You can choose any form that resonates with you. I could definitely train you on heart rate variability, because it is something that you can do in the moment. It's something that you can prepare for before any situation happens. I'm having a lot of success with my clients in teaching them the heart math techniques. So that is one way to do it. I know that there's other ways to lower stress. So it's whatever is resonating with you on that. But the third thing is meditation and having control of your mind. We talked about this in another training where, who does have control of your mind? Is it your body or is it you? And you seriously need to have control of that, because that does reduce stress if you've got a control over what's going on with your mind. One thing that I want to do is, because I know that the pictures that I showed were more of they looked like they were oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? Made up, I guess. And so what I do want to do is I kind of want to show you. I'm going to add something to the stream. I hope it works. And this is actually my heart rate, my coherence pattern, if you will. So in order to find a jagged one, I had to go all the way back to September 22nd, 2022 to find a more jagged one. This is showing a very low heart rate variability. This is the pattern that I was talking about when you're, this is an incoherent pattern. And you can tell I'm in the red here. I didn't explain, this is a tool that HeartMath has, and to show coherence so that we can see where you're at with your pattern. And then this one in November 28th of this year, you can see that, very, very nice coherent pattern. Anyhow, I did want to show you that this is real. This, even though, we had made up diagrams, but I did want to show you some real data, some of my data to help you understand that a little bit better. So the inner balance is the tool that I use with my clients, and you don't have to buy it yourself. Well, if you're close to me, you don't have to buy it yourself, because you could always come see me. I definitely have the mechanics to do it. If you do decide to join two of my programs, I actually send you the equipment joining those programs. So there's ways for you to get that, or you could buy it on your own if you want to buy it on your own and work on your own with your own heart rate variability. But it does show you where you're at and shows you if you're coherent or not. So it is a very good tool. I absolutely love it. So if you do want to learn more, if you want me to teach you, I'd love to teach you. Just click on the link, or maybe in my Facebook group, you could DM me, and we can chat a little bit more and see what that would look like. Okay. Like I said, next week, we're going to be talking about the heart and the microbiome. Kind of cool. So, and kind of cool how much control you have there too. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. I love doing these trainings. I hope you guys love them too. And we'll talk to you next week. Oh, have a very Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. And we'll talk to you next week. Thanks. Bye.